Sup shooters, my name is Logan, aka SpiderHands, and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track by an actor named Lauren Rathbun, titled Bird with a Broken Wing. And if we switch over to here, we have the YouTube video for it. We're going to be listening through this track from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go.
2, 3, 4.
Okay, we've got some acoustic fingerstyle with a clearly competent vocalist.
End of summer, union's over. Tell me what to do. Lack of affection, no direction. What are you trying to prove? That you can
I like her chest voice as well as she goes into that low range. It's an interesting melody.
make it on your own. That you can live alone. Best to do is try to carry on.
Nice vibrato there as well, a nice coming with the guitars.
No abuses, hear me with your heart.
Ballad format.
No offenses, your old pretenses must be quantified. You think you can't give your all, don't accept the call. It's better than to bury your soul.
I like that natural vibrato she's got, and alongside the piano accompaniment, it's nice. Again, we're slowly bringing new elements in just to keep it sort of getting bigger and bigger, but not throw everything at the listener at once.
Forget your worries and old stories, show me what to do. Not my vocation or obligation to speak these words to you.
It's interesting that I can hear a very slight vocal on that left side. I wasn't expecting it. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean, I don't mind it.
By yourself, you may hit the wall. Maybe you will fall. Believe it or not, it's out of your control.
Again, really competent instrumental performance there from the guitarist, and I did like when the vocals came in later on that right side. It sounded like things were nice and sort of complete. I'm glad we found that resolution there from a panning perspective.
Seems I can't really define it. It's only myself who'll refine it. I'm like a bird with a broken wing, but I will fly over mountains, sing without you, without you. The early failures, million sellers, we share them side by side. Long rehearsals, sold out concerts, what a crazy ride. If you think you've reached the top, no more room left up, then
I like the concept of, there never being a top, like accepting our sort of like our vulnerability and everything like that. Talking about being a bird with a broken wing, tell me what to do. It's interesting. I like the fact that even if there's like something holding her down or something stopping her from doing stuff, she'll still kind of soldier on anyways.
leave it all, let it go and stop. Seems I can't really define it. It's only myself who'll refine it. Like a bird with a broken wing, but I will fly over mountains, sing without you, without you.
Oh, so I understand it. So basically, even though we might have been damaged by the interaction we've had, even though we might not necessarily be good enough for that person, we're still going to move forward even without them. I think that's kind of a beautiful sort of thing to sort of sing about. I like how huge the mix sounds with the basses and the lead guitar there. That fuzzy tone is kind of welcome. It's not too intense. Again, it fits the ballad style well.
Seems I can't really define it.
Oh, grey head voice there.
Only myself who'll refine it. I will fly over mountains, sing without you, without you.
I kind of
On
will.
your own. forget all about me.
Go ahead, forget all about me. Damn, that hit like a train, dude, emotionally. I'm gonna listen to that first verse again. I just wanna like do my due diligence and make sure I haven't missed anything important. But yeah, shout out to Young Pal's Music. I think they're the label behind this act. So this is the conclusion of my review of this track, Bird with a Broken Wing by Lauren Rathbun. I think this track is about a woman who has just like kind of lost their patience with someone who is maybe not willing to fully commit to it. Maybe they don't think that they should or that they have to. They maybe there's like a disagreement with the valuing of the other people involved, you know. But at the end, I think basically what happens is that she basically, I think the lady realizes along the story that she's actually good enough and that she's just gonna keep flying on. And she just says to the guy, to whoever, to forget about her. And I think that's it. That is a different angle. That is a different angle, because often you have these types of love songs and you have people wanting them back, or you have the person saying that they don't need to sort of rise up for them. But then this is a person looking sort of at their partner who is making these excuses and going, you know what, it doesn't matter, like, if you're not prepared to continue to move that one bit forward, I don't need to worry about this. This is like sort of like a tale of empowerment. And I kind of dig that. I think that's fair. It's brutal. Like, it's brutal when you have, you know, your partner say to you, you know, or someone saying, you know, I don't really want to wait for you. I don't have to. This is my life, and I don't owe you anything. But I think that's kind of the angle we're going for here. And even if some people, you know, people have opinions on the internet, even if some people have opinions about the validity of this sort of like way of looking at things, I think there's a lot of people that be able to relate to what Lauren has gone through, and I think that it comes across as a very authentic and genuine performance. Not just because Lauren is a great singer, you know, a great technique, comfortable with the head and the chest voice, you know, nice legato and vibrato passages, very they also know how to emotionally respond to the story that they're telling in a way that, you know, that makes it seem like authentic and genuine. They're a storyteller, and they also have a great way of differentiating their approaches between the hooks and the verses as well. So you get those different sides of Lauren, the more powerful sort of bombastic side and the choruses, and the verse is more like sort of like quiet and like, yo, seriously, listen to me with your heart, you know. I'm not playing around. I think she's like the whole package. I don't want her to change. I think she's a great singer, and I hope that she does more stuff like this. I hope she sings in more songs like this. Even if it genuinely looks as if she was in pain singing that stuff, I think this is something she might have gone through. But then that just makes the music better, doesn't it? When it comes from the heart. You know, otherwise, how can you believe it? That's what's bittersweet about it, I suppose. You got the main motif of the track. I mean, it's basically filled with you've got this guitar, this paginated guitar sort of folkish kind of vibe there, a little bit of intimacy coming in with the pianos and the bass and the drums and guitar solos, and it sizzles and it's full of fire and fury and passion there. And I think that it's great when we build the volume and the presence of the vocals, we also build the intensity of the accompaniment and the surrounding instruments, and then the interchangeable lead voices. I think that's a really smart idea, you know. We chose the right move there, I think, on the part of Lauren and everyone else involved there. I wouldn't have done it any differently from a structural perspective. It did sound sort of like triumphant in those hook sections. The verses, like, melodically, like from the guitar parts and everything, they sounded like, again, it was a ballad format, but it was almost like we're trying to have sort of like a down period just to kind of like actually have a conversation about it. That's what the music sounded like. And then again, the hook with the big sort of just overdriven or distorted power chords and everything, open chords, it just was like, yeah, this is who I am. I'm standing triumphant here. Will you come or not? I think that the instrumental performances were captivating and proficient. You know, we didn't just roll around with the typical sort of chord progressions. We switched bass lines and progressions up between the verses and the hooks. We had some wonderful fingerstyle, doing some sort of call and response with her and her sort of more range when she wasn't singing. The piano sort of reinforced some of the guitar parts and the harmonies there. Again, the bass, guitar, and drums were so tight during those hooks, and then those solo sections had sort of almost like a slashish kind of voicing to them, that kind of 80s sort of like power ballad style of sort of not shred, but it was impressive, really. I'm really happy with it. Yeah, no, there wasn't really a note out of place. There appeared to be chemistry between the different band members and the accompaniment. The arrangement was nicely balanced there. It never felt too huge. The bass had a really fantastic tone to it. It was nice and full and kind of worked well with the root notes of the harmony there. I mean, like, and the drums as well was supportive. I mean, like, it's great. The production, recording, mixing, and mastering was splendid. The vocals sounded nice and crisp. You know, so did the guitars and the piano parts. The drums as well were nicely sort of filtered and EQ'd, and the bass, again, it was huge sounding. There was obviously space for it in the frequency spectrum, and they allowed for that to occur, so it was big and sort of boisterous in those hook parts. And I'm kind of glad they didn't have the bass in the verses, because it just kind of allowed for more of a floaty vibe with the guitars and the pianos in the second bit. There were no resonant frequencies or like issues with the panning in the stereo field. Everything had a home. The leveling was good, you know, like we had nice bits of dynamic range and changes in perceived loudness. The limiting compression was done well. It was nice and loud without pumping. Yeah, I do like, again, the vocal overdubs as a final comment in those hook sections. I wasn't initially sort of super sure about some of those very slight backing vocals in like the bridge sections maybe, but just because of where they were placed. But then I know that would have been in the first hook. But you know, I sort of smoothed into it later on once I understood the rest of the context. I mean, that's effectively my review of this track, Bird with a Broken Wind by Lauren Rathbun. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go check out the various social medias and our YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next review. SpiderHands out.